Greetings friends, today I'll explain my summoning build Necromancer on Last Epoch, focusing on the leveling part with passive and skills order that you should take during your leveling. You'll see that you'll quickly do the story and easily move to the endgame. Also big thanks to Last Epoch team which sponsorized this video. Before going in details, a few points on why you should play this build. First, summons in Last Epoch are very great to play with. You don't have this kind of slow motion that you can have in other games. In Last Epoch they are very aggressive and you'll be able to enjoy this build no matter your level or skill on Last Epoch. Second point, you'll have a ton of damage. No matter your equipment in the story mode and then at the beginning of the endgame, you'll just melt everything that you encounter, whether they are creeps or bosses. Last point, it's a very quick character because you have plenty of mobility and it will be very fast to do the story. It took me around 7 hours in semi-chill mode, and after for the monoliths it will be very convenient to have this speed. I'll now explain you the passive points and skill. Keep in mind that if you watch the live, you'll have a few differences in skills and passive. It's just because I optimized this build in order to show it in that video. That means you'll have an even stronger build to play with. So first we'll start with intelligence and some resistances, and then we'll get the vitality here and minion heals. After that you want some attack speed for your minions and the armor also for your minions in function of your character level. So now the Necromancer part, it's a bit more tricky, so make sure to have every node that I mentioned. First we want some minion damage in order to unlock this one, and we especially want this node because you'll have armor shredding chance, so you should have around 200 stacks on bosses with this setup, so it will greatly increase your damage output. Then we also want this one to increase the number of skeletons that you have, that's why we put 1 point here and 5 here. It will also increase minion heals and unlock this one just here. 3 points for the dark retribution. When your skeleton dies it will summon another skeleton, that means that globally you'll increase your pool of skeletons by 3. After that you have a +1 here, that's why you need to put 3 points in this one, even if it will reduce a bit your minions heals. And you have at the top some damage with critical chance and at the bottom some resistances for your minions. Lastly, you just need to put 2 or 3 points on this node in order to grant haste and frenzy to your minions. I'll now explain the skills. Keep in mind that you need to use the same order for your levels and also to choose the skills that you need to level up in the same order as the one I'm giving you. The first skill that you want to level up will be Summon Skeleton, and you want to also remove arches just here. On your way you'll unlock this node in order to increase the number of skeletons, and then you'll want to unlock the rock just here. Lastly, you take the +1 here for your skeletons and the +1 also here for additional skeletons. The second skill will be the Bone Curse in order to curse your enemies, and you want to take the armor shredding just here and keep going until you have this node. It will increase its damage but also kill any enemy below 12% of health points. Lastly, you take the Mark for Death and the increased duration of your mark. For the third skill you want to have Transplant. It's a very good mobility spell, but also it will give you bone armor, so very good to have some resistances. On the right you take the Haste and Frenzy, and then you'll get on the left these 3 in order to have the bone armor. Lastly you want this at the bottom in order to have additional minions. For the fourth skill you want the Bone Golem. It will be very helpful to heal yourself but also to generate threat to your enemies. So first you get this node with the heals on hit, and you also want this one in order to have 2 golems. You have the threat just here and it will make the enemies attack your golems. Lastly you have some armor for your minions here. The last one, the Summon Rest, in order to have additional power battle. You want first to get this node in order to permanently have 2 rests. That means that they will always remain on your side except if they die, and then just here you want some attack speed in order to get this one to summon both at the same time. You finish with this node which will grant them critical chance and leash on critical hit. before explaining you the stuff that you need to get with your Necromancer, and even if you have everything that you need to be a good solo player, you also have plenty of bonuses playing with mates. The first one comes from the summonings, and it will be much more comfortable from other players because especially the bone golem with the threat will take the aggro for your party. Then you'll have around 200 stacks of armor shredding on bosses, meaning that anyone in your group will have its damage increased. Then you have two nodes interesting on your skills. The first one on Summon Skeleton. You can give a bone armor to your allies so they will enjoy this buff. And the second one, a bit more tricky on the bone golem. You can take Betrayal, which will result in a bone explosion when allies hit your golem. It's harder to play, but if you build around it, it can be very strong. To finish this guy, let's talk about the stuff, and this part is very easy to do. You just want minion buffies and some resistances. Keep in mind that we have melee and physical minions, so don't take, for example, necrotic damage from minions and so on. It's only physical and in melee. You don't need to bother too much about the stuff for the story or the first monoliths, you don't have to craft anything and so on. The build is strong enough to do all of this without having a good stuff. Thanks for watching this video, I hope that you'll enjoy this build, and as usual you have our content on the website, and if you have any question feel free to post in the comments. Bye bye!